Just want to ask about the offensive game plan. A lot of empty sets, 5 wides. What's the logic and idea behind doing that? What are you trying to get Clemson to show you?
Well, we had a good beat on what their pressures were in empty. If you look at the game, we didn't get pressured in empty. We weren't getting the simulated pressures, which is what he's known for, is a lot of simulated pressures, create a lot of confusion in the drop back game, which is something that we felt like we were going to struggle with if we got into a game where we were going to have to pick up all the simulated pressures. So we felt like we had a better chance to pick up the 3-man rush, twist games in the odd front, and the simulated bear front pressures, which are the 2 things he showed to do. And obviously we struggled. We struggled in that. So looking back on it, maybe we should have taken on a little bit more of all the 3-down, 5- and 6-man simulated pressures. But that was just. We gave our guys a chance to win a one-on-one, kind of put our quarterback in space a little bit to see hots, and that was the plan.
Right side.
On that note, what were they able to do to kind of limit Jordan's running?
Yeah, I mean, if you watch him versus most running quarterbacks, he does a really good job boxing them in. I mean, even in empty, they would be rushing 3 and spying 2 guys. Literally all their twist games were not twist games to actually attempt to get to the quarterback. They were actually twist games to flush the quarterback. And I actually felt like multiple times throughout the game, the first 7-cut corner route to Pokey that we just didn't complete, that was a 3-man twist game. We prevented the pressure with the empty to give us time to throw, and bang, bang play, and their guy made a play, and we almost came down with it. So They had 2 guys for Jordan in the passing game and the spy game, unless they were bringing their 4-down internal twist, and they would just have 1 guy as a spy. And then in the run game, most of their pressures were popping to bear with wide defensive ends to box the quarterback in to force us to win inside. And, when you have a guy like Jordan, and usually he can spark the run game with one of those special runs that go for 80, and then the stats say you ran the ball for 9 yards a carry, and you have all these awesome stats. And when you get boxed in like that, it really puts the pressure on having to win consistently in the box, the one-on-ones. When you face a good defense, he's not gonna let you get those explosive runs because they're good tacklers, like we talked about.
Left side, Jared.
Yeah, a couple of times, Jordan, when he was flushed or was out in space, rather than just taking off, it seemed like he was trying to wait receivers open. Was my observation accurate?
I think there was a few times, maybe, but most of the times that we were in those scramble situations were 3rd and extra long. So they're in a 3-man rush, and they're in their 3 double cloud, soft cover 3, 2 Tampa, whatever you want to call it. So he knew he could not run for the first down because everybody has zone eyes on him. So I felt like there was, the use of scrambling athletic guys back there is really prevalent when you're in 3rd and medium situations, because when you get out of the pocket on a 3rd and 4 and a 3rd and 5, right, well, you can run and get the first down. When you get out of the pocket on a 3rd and 12 or a 3rd and 13, and you've got everybody with zone eyes on you, right, by the time you get to the line of scrimmage and become a non-passing threat, you're going to have 4 guys collapse. So I think what hurt us in that standpoint was putting ourselves behind the chains with penalties or MAs, which is what we hadn't done in the prior weeks. We put ourselves back behind the chains and trying to beat a really good defense on 3rd and long. You're not going to be successful whether you're in empty, whether you're in 7-man protection. When you put those defensive linemen on the field, combined with the simulated pressures, right, trying to protect, not many teams in the country are going to be successful in that. And that's why staying in those easy down and distances were so vital in the game, and we didn't manage to do that, especially in the second half. Really, after the touchdown to LT, the next drive we start with a false start. Really, from that point on, we started with either a false start or a penalty within the first 2 plays, all the drives up until the last 2-minute drive when we didn't get it done.
Back right, Aslan.
Kenny, first drive of the second half, you guys get some positive momentum on the first play, and then it's 3rd and long. Jordan does something that you kind of grown accustomed to. That 4th down run, was he gassed, and is that why he handed off to Jay Sean, or was that the right decision?
Well, I mean, they lined up in their 3-3 stack stuff. So I mean, when you place a team like that, they're so multiple, right? Your O-line has to communicate almost every single snap because they're 4-1 box, they're 3-3 box, they're 3-2 box fitting from double edge. That's what makes what they do as good, is they have really good personnel, and you combine that with you have to communicate every single snap just to get hats on hats. And we had a play where basically we had 5 blocking 5 in the box, 6 blocking 6 with the extra tight end, hats on hats, and just try to crease it. The defensive end, we blocked the defensive end with the backside tackle, obviously, so the quarterback's going to give the football. But if we would have gotten a different defensive look, it would have given an opportunity for us to slide everything through, read the defensive end, and Jordan could have pulled it. So based off the defensive look, it was a give read. We had the 5 blocked in the box. And we get the same situation. I trust Jay Sean Corbin to get that first down. That's one of our top guys. We're going to hand him the ball. And I can sleep at night giving the ball to 0 or giving the ball to 13 based off the defensive structure.
Front right, Kurt.
I'm sure going into the game, you knew, like you said, how hard it was going to be to find success in those predictive passing situations. But how did Jordan grade out in I know Coach Norvell said he graded out pretty well in the base, more where it could go either way, and I think he had the best QB rating against Clemson's defense this season.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at the base down passing game, the quick game, the 500 protections, I mean, we were really efficient. That was probably the biggest bright spot of the entire game, which has not been something we've seen in the last 2 years here offensively. When you look at, the play to LT, a second half, and this one of the second half drives where we started with, we threw an under, then we threw a hunt route right to a tight end. We threw another under throughout the drive. I thought he did a really good job being patient in the pocket, going to his first, second, third, and on one time it was actually his 5th read or 4th read on a rep on one of the sit routes. And I thought he did a great job. I thought the struggle comes in when you face those. And offensively, we knew we were going to be able to protect those situations because we're in double wings with double chips, with 5 men out in the route on a rundown, which when you're in a rundown, you're getting run pressures. Defensive ends aren't up the field. So we felt really good about protecting it. When we get into the 3rd and longs and those guys are, they're coming after you and they're dropping 8 because it's 3rd and 12. They're super tight windows. And I felt like there were 1 or 2 times in the game he could have progressed and threw a climb, but it's bang, bang. You're coming your climb to your curl, and it's bang, bang of 4-eye twisters in your face at the same time. And, I would like to say we can make that throw. But that's also, when you're on the field, it's a little bit different. It's easy to say in the film room. But we got to stay out of those down and distances when you face good teams. It's what it boils down to. If you can rush 3, if you can rush 4 with simulated pressures, drop 7 or drop 8 on 3rd and 12, right, you're not going to be very successful offensively. But I thought Jordan did a nice job. I thought he's growing as a quarterback, sitting in the pocket, going through his reads. And I do think there are things he can grow from. I thought there was a beater route on a first down where he's reading the middle safety, and he worked the field on the throw to Keyshawn. I thought he could have worked the boundary away from the monster. But from the most part, I thought he did a nice job.
Gene?
I did not know that stat about the best QB rating or all that, but I thought he played solid, pretty well.
Kenny, I want to ask you about the long touchdown to Lawrence. First of all, the call, if you could break that down for us, that wheel route, obviously you got a nice isolation on that play. And then his ability to not only maintain balance on that, but then to stay in bounds. I mean, looking at film, did it look even more impressive what he was able to do on that touchdown?
Yeah, I think it was more impressive when I was seeing it live, to be honest, than on tape, just because it was like I was calling another play. Like we called another play, and then all of a sudden, we didn't need to call it, which was nice. It's always a positive when you're facing, a top 5 defense in college football. And the scheme of the play was we knew in reduced sets we could create some rubs out of the backfield, showed up on tape. And when you got man coverage, so we, remove the running back, get a man or zone read, move him back in the backfield, make him communicate, try to get double rubs, and try to get your running back on a rail route. Kind of worked out like we planned it, got him open. And then when he got to the 20, those were the plays we needed to be in the football game, and he made that play. He didn't make us run another play, and we got him to the 20, and he did the rest, and that was just a miraculous, unbelievable play by him. There's not many better plays this last weekend than that play, and that was a guy who was coming on for us, and that was great to see.
Ira?
Ken, Coach Norvell talked about, thinking about the positives out of the game. Playing in that environment against that defense as you go into another week against another really good defense, can that game be that experience be something that helps guys going forward?
Oh, there's no question. Going into that game, that's obviously our biggest, other than they're good, right? They're talented. They do a lot. Other than that, the combination of how much they do with that environment that we haven't played, I think I mentioned it last week, this was our first real road game with a loud crowd in the last 2 years, with this O-line, with this group. And I think it got to us a little bit. There's multiple times where, we're supposed to be running a locked insert zone and we're lined up on the front side instead of the back side, and we don't block the linebacker. There's multiple times we're confused on who we're working to, whether it's run game, pass game. There's some times where we just brain fart and open the wrong way, But all of that is part of, the growing process of when you play in those environments, you've got to stay focused on the task at hand. And we'd have drives where we'd go 15, 20 yards, and then one play, 2nd and 13. All right, run the ball, gain 3 yards. I think we averaged 2.1 yards carry on the ground on base downs. They did a good job stopping us. Now you're at 3rd and 9. And you get in those situations where it's a good defense, you're not going to be successful. So we've shown signs this year of being explosive, right? We're an I would say we are an explosive team. When you play us, we're gonna have some explosive plays. But the games that we score a lot of points in, we have the explosiveness and the consistency. The games that we don't score in, right, usually it's just 1 or 2 explosive plays, and the consistency is lacking. And when you're on the road, when you're in that environment versus good defense, you have to be consistent because they're not going to give up 5, 6 explosive plays. They're going to give up 1 or 2, and that's what we got.
Jared?
NC State defense, looking ahead to that in preparation for them. Are there similarities with Clemson, or what are you seeing on film from NC State?
Yeah, no similarities. They play a 3-down front, but 0 similarities. I guess they'll play some 3 high safety stuff, but Clemson does everything. So I guess the similarities is they have probably done what North NC State does in some capacity because they have, when you're there so long, you can run a multitude of things. But NC State, they do a phenomenal job, and I know the defensive coordinator there, and he was at Arizona when I was back out there, and he does a phenomenal job. Those guys, they don't MA. You watch the film, they play fast, they play as hard as you could possibly want somebody to play every snap, and they don't MA. They don't give up the big play because everybody's where they're supposed to be. I mean, you're watching them pass off shifts and motions, and they know there's no panic in how they play. They play fast, they play physical, they play hard, and there's a reason they're one of the top defenses in college football is because everybody's where they're supposed to be, and similar to Clemson, they're an elite tackling team. They don't miss tackles. And anytime you play hard, you don't MA, and you're an elite tackling team, you're going to make an offense work really, really hard to get football points.
Avalon?
Jermaine gets that scoop and score, gives you guys a lead. Defense gets a 3 and out. You guys, it's not exactly 4-minute drill, but it's 5.5 minutes. I guess other than keeping the clock running, what was the goal on that drive? And it was another 3rd and long. It seemed like some of the routes that were being run were kind of underneath stuff that wasn't going to get you a first down and wasn't going to clear guys out for Jordan to maybe scramble and make something happen. Can you talk about that 3rd down and the decisions on that?
The 3rd and 13 backed up when our defenses played great. We did not want to take a negative right there. So we weren't going to just run the football because all the 3 double cloud stuff, the ball, we know what we were going to get. We're going to get 3 double cloud, 3 high, some sort of simulated twist game up front, right? You can either run the football, it's going to bounce to the edge, and you're going to punt, or you can have a chance to pry a route open. We ran basically a cross concept. Y'all can see it on tape. Cross, curl, you got 5 options. Most teams in the country run it. From Chip Kelly way back at Oregon, it's still run predominantly all across college football. And worked up in the pocket. The only throw would have potentially been the backside curl, but we were on the same page there. Any pressure, hitch up, run, right? Try to get the first down scrambling. If not, get down, punt the football back to them. But that goes back to the first play of that drive, we get a full start. Second play of the drive, we pull the ball, and we have 3 guys to block 3 guys. And, their corner wins and blows up Jordan when we have a guy to block him. And I think that's where we watched last week, or yesterday, as an offense, we watched every single drive and 1 or 2 plays from each drive, why it was successful and why it failed. And our guys can see that every drive that we just do our job and execute, we can be really good. But one play that gets us to 2nd and 13, we're not at a stage yet where we can overcome those 3rd and 13s, very similar to what I talked about last week when we got into 3rd and 13, and I said, yeah, Jordan can make those plays happen in those environments, right? When we're playing a team where we're probably outmanning them, right? Now you play a team that has the dogs, right? And you live in those environments, you make those MAs and put yourself on 3rd and 14, right? You're going to struggle. And that's what you saw a team that put themselves behind the chains for a variety of reasons in the second half. A lot due to them, a lot due to their confusion and what they provide, and then the talent level that they have. And we got to stay out of those down and distances.
We've got Ira for the last one.
Trayshawn, you've talked about him so glowingly all season, and he's done a lot for you guys. He had a tough play in that game. What have you seen from him since then, and what kind of things do you say to him?
Showed up and go to work. I mean, that's it. I mean, we talk about it. We woke up because obviously we don't, the schedule. We didn't know what our schedule was going to be in terms of practicing some of the rules. And we woke up 8 a.m. back in the office preparing for NC State. Woke up, got our guys ready to roll. We had a little practice Sunday. We're already moving on. I mean, that's the one thing about our guys is they understand that we can't control the past. We'd love to go back and fix things. Trust me, I'd love to go back and fix some things that we played in the game, right, that would have helped us be more successful. But at the end of the day, you can't. All you can do is get better. And we got a team that one of the best defenses in college football, again, are coming here, and we're going to give the ball to Trayshawn Ward. And I have full confidence we hand him the ball, he's going to make plays. And that's just I believe in him, and I know he knows we believe in him. And one play is not going to define him. He's going to get up this week. He's going to go to work, just like he did on Sunday. He's going to get better.
Okay. Thanks, Coach.
Thank y'all.